Alright, welcome back to the Dog Bowl Food Truck, everybody. So, before we move on, I'm gonna fess up here. If the audio sounds at all off, or maybe not quite synced up for last episode, I apologize. I had to alter my OBS in order to have Mal's be here, and that required me to create different audio channels and whatnot. But basically, in order to make sure Mal's audio and the game's audio were separate, I had to mess with stuff. So if it comes off weird, my bad. But this does mean that Mal's is here again. Hello, Mal's!
Здравствуй.
Ah,
Howdy do.
well, hopefully we'll be doing better than Anton's parents' marriage.
You know what? That's a really low bar. I'm sure we can clear it.
You know, you got me there. So, let's go ahead and just hop straight into it. Mom moved to the living room, and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window.
And the fox.
Oh no. Olia had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn to curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parents. Jesus! Okay. Me too, sweetheart. What the hell was that? And then Olia said she saw that giant flying monster outside her window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Olia refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After last night, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? That night I couldn't get a wink of sleep. I ended up thinking of what to expect from my new school. That was a floorboard creak, I heard that. Also, see, Mal's, look, I told you, see? He's the one with the dinosaur.
Alright, fine, you win. But honestly, the floorboard creaking is just you.
Look, just because my belly do be jiggling, doesn't mean that, you know.
Look, they're old floors. This house is is as old as fucking Anton's grandmother.
Babushka.
Babushka!
Look, I want to make more, like, I want to be a little bit more sensitive, but as an American who particularly enjoys listening to Life of Boris, you know, is Boris! And then you cut to hard bass, but I'm just emulating exactly what I hear as best I can. Also, is that Freddie Mercury on the left there?
I don't know?
I don't think it is. Yeah, no, the pose is wrong, but it might be something. There's a little cat. There were a couple of days left before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures, cut out using a template. Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creatures were looking at me from behind the flat, black silhouettes. Their cruel glares, filled with icy sneers, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down? Stomp on me with their bloodied shoes? The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wished for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see the people who are just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider, or some sort of monster. Jesus Christ. Is this kid okay?
No.
I mean, yes, obviously not.
Especially not when he sees what's behind those curtains.
Don't mess with me like that. Is there? There's no feet. There's no feet. Don't you mess with me like that.
No. Coco. That's the window.
This game is already making me a little paranoid. I don't need you helping it along. Sir.
Sippy.
Oh my god. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Olya begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. Hang on a second. Oh no, my tail is in the way. Let me just scooch. Alright, move down the couch. Alright, there we go.
But
Tiny husky. Oh, sorry.
oh my god.
Look,
I already have so little space on this side here.
Look, just gonna have to drain the goo off and go back to just being a skull for tonight, okay?
What?
What, do you want to be on the shoulder or in the belly button today?
Both.
How is that? You know, I'm just gonna let you figure that while I keep reading. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You've got the wrong number." Or, "Anton is not around." Anton is not around. Jeez. This kid sounds like me. Oh my gosh. Because I had some paranoid delusions for a while there about, like, my parents, this back, when we had a friggin' landline, like, being called and, like, me being invited to birthday parties, but my parents saying I couldn't. Never happened, obviously, but still, it's like, jeez. I imagined my future classmates lying in their beds, just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom.
Nope.
What's the nope?
Nope. Okay, this is a me thing. I really dislike it when kids like idolize their mom that much.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Hey,
Also, what?
it's quiet.
It is quiet. The music stopped. With the ambiance.
Uh-huh.
I also just noticed here on the text box, now that I kind of move my tail out of the way, this looks like a thing on the bottom right? It looks like there's like somebody crawling forward on this.
With the glowing eyes.
Yes.
And the long hooked nose.
God.
Creeping across the squeaking floorboards.
The house creaked, pressed by the wind.
Hiding under the bed.
Stop The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building. Oh, they were in a Soviet hab block, jeez. Buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mumbled with a TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easygoing during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners, on the closet cobwebs, and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of my deceased family, with their ashen eyes, were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. Do you hear that? The floor was squeaking. Rusty drains were moaning. The attic was occupied by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. And then I realized I was, in fact, hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed in with the sound of wind of the creaking old house, and my thoughts, too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing it there amidst the cold, snowy night, right? What on earth? Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes. I could barely make out. With the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basked in moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, and rolled around and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at times, circled around, holding hands and whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment and then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Suddenly the music had stopped. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear pierced me with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. I don't like that. Oh, okay. These are visual novels. Things should not be moving. Like, no. Stop that. Mal's, I'm scared. I don't want to click. It glided on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like the bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back toward the bed. They saw me. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guest move and scrape around looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at the front door. I jumped into bed and covered myself with the blanket as if it could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remember the funeral, my grandma laying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandma's casket. I imagined those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. Then her wrinkly eyeballs would once again move in their sockets, and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure. And now, lying under the blanket and listening to the squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words.
На острове Буяне, в Синем океане, стоит домовина, в ней сало и глина, волосы седые, чертям еда, раба Божьего Антона не тронут никогда.
On the island of Buyan, underneath the blemished sun, in the sea of color blue, stands a cabin made of wood. There lay lard and ashen hair for the spawn from devil's lair, to feast and always leave alone God's faithful servant named Anton.
Бесы забудут дорогу к дому.
Evil leave this house.
Мертвый к мертвому, живой к живому.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The bizarre sounds had disappeared. Cautiously, I peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains waving around like a hanged man. And then the night doused me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sounds scratched at my eardrums. In reality, something or someone were scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he had installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intently, as if he was looking for someone.
Мертвое к мертвому,
Ashes to ashes,
живое к живому.
dust to dust. I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. And then the doorknob twitched slightly. Then it half turned. Once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more and then started clicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear. My wet fingers clutched the blanket. The door creaked open. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now you'll see. The door was wide open. The darkness writhed inside the carnivorous mouth of a doorway. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinges. I was trembling, ensnared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of a gaping black hole. My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. Before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me,
Ты спишь, Тоша?
Tosha? You asleep? That looks like an eyeball. That looks like two eyes. Ugh,
Yes, it does.
God, that's fucking with me. My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief.
Оля, я не сплю.
Oh,
Что
yeah.
случилось?
I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Olya frowned and struck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry.
It's there again. It's there again, staring at me.
Прогони ее, Тоша. Прогони, пожалуйста.
Shoo her away, Tasha, please.
Is Tosha I want to assume Tosha is just a term of endearment. Or else...
Tosha would be like a diminutive version of Anton,
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Я так боюсь!
I'm so scared.
The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Ulya down.
Это был сон, глупая. Не пугайся. Сны не кусаются. Никто тебя не обидит.
It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's going to harm you. Ulya sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me. But was I sure myself?
У меня есть идея.
I have an idea.
Пойдем к тебе в комнату, видик посмотрим. Спящую красавицу, например.
Let's go to your room and watch the video Sleeping Beauty, for example. That's so funny because didn't we mention Sleeping Beauty last episode?
Little Mermaid was last episode.
No, I mean like the VN mentioned Little Mermaid, but then you brought up Sleeping Beauty about like how to set up things and like where to apply rules.
I mentioned Beauty and the Beast.
Oh right, okay, sorry. I got my things crossed. Yeah, that's right. It was because Sleeping Beauty was one of the ones that's still where Don Bluth was still part of the animation department. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Which, by the way, anybody... This is actually a little bit of a story I want to tell now. So, I actually have a somewhat fear of barn owls. Like the really flat-faced ones. It's just a little bit of a fear. I've kind of gotten over it a bit as I've gotten older, but essentially when I lived in Arkansas when I was really young, there was a time where I heard something at my window, like a tapping, and when I woke up and looked, there was a freaking barn owl there. Scared the shit out of me. It scared the shit out of me because I didn't realize how big they were. And then...
Oh yeah, especially for a kid.
Oh yeah. Like I was young too. I was like 7-ish. Probably actually Olya's age here. And as I grew up and grew older, I found out about I believe it's the Flatwoods monster. The one that Majora's Mask aliens were based off of, which a lot of people believe that was a misidentified barn owl. And honestly, at being afraid of barn owls, I can see it. That thing is scary.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there was watching Avatar and The Last Airbender. And we get to that weird sunken library with the creepy bird dude. And I'm just like, every time I would see something that looked like a barn owl, it was always something wicked, malicious, and evil. And then what finally sealed the deal was when I found out a movie called The Third Kind or The Fourth Kind, something like that, but it's a movie about alien abductions. And in the movie... I
believe it's third.
The Third Kind? Okay. But
because the reference in the title is what kind and level of contact. So like the various kinds of contact with extraterrestrials is like sightings that are distant and not entirely confirmable. Then the second kind would be like relatively close sightings and or like maybe some sort of audio communication. And then the third kind, I believe, would be like abductions and direct contact.
Huh.
I think that's how it goes.
I think so, because now that I'm thinking about it, there's the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is like a classic movie that everybody should watch because it's referenced endlessly. But then the movie that I was thinking about specifically is The Fourth Kind. Because it's a weird fake documentary movie and it's implied in that movie that barn owls are alien, like, drones, basically. And because when I was younger, I had a hard time distinguishing between media and reality. That fucked with me really hard. That fucked with me real hard, real bad. So, I had to... It took me a while to get over that, so I'm with Olya on this one. Fuck that owl. Fuck that owl. Get him out. Especially since I'm pretty sure we're about to get another fucking jump scare. Ugh.
Тебе же нравится этот мультик?
I don't think we are.
You like that
It's too
cartoon?
soon.
Yeah? You like that cartoon, don't you?
Почему у спящей красавицы принца у меня эта страшная птица?
Why does Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have this scary bird?
The question took me by surprise.
Ладно, давай посмотрим Золушку.
Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its eyes, while dancing feverishly under the moon. The darkness was clinging to the window, and it couldn't be fooled by Grandma's old chants. It couldn't be satisfied with a feast of lard and long ashen hair.
Тоша, ты идешь?
Maybe it's a crooked fox.
God.
Tosha, you coming?
Да, да, сейчас.
Yeah, just a second. Okay. Thanks for that. Oh. I needed a second to recover from that. Fuck. Fucking got me good. God damn. Oh shit, that got me so good. Fuck. Oh. Miles, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
Hey, remember that face with the hooked nose?
Yeah, it's still there.
If you look at it from a different direction, it almost looks like a wolf.
Oh my god, they literally told us to squint our eyes and look at it from an angle. They literally told us to squint our eyes and look at stuff from different angles. Oh, fuck me. Okay. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Olya and her owl in the morning. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here.
Somebody's knocking at the front door.
So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from a silly thought that our morning guests could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet, under the table, behind the curtains where Olya always hides.
Тоша, подойди-ка сюда.
Tosha, come here. I felt like kettlebells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them toward the hallway. A couple of policemen were over me in the doorway. God, okay, so no wonder they charged for this game there is not a single thing that's not a fucking CG. Jesus Christ. Am I using that term right?
It's yeah.
Yesn't?
Yes, and
So, it's okay, let me rephrase
So-
that. There's not a single thing in here that isn't hand-drawn.
yeah, that's fair. I think that there is signs that they use like photos that they drew over to make it a lot simpler and quicker. But yeah, despite that and the use of some filters, there is still a lot of detail here.
Oh, yeah. That, and since everything's in black and white, it really... The thing about black and white is you really have to get creative to show value and texture. So it just... Oof.
More accurately here, it would be called grayscale.
Okay, that's fair. Monochrome.
Monochromatic grayscale.
A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry.
You know who can smell worry?
Who?
I don't know.
I can smell crying. Like if somebody's been crying and like they do a good job of covering it up and they walk past me, I can smell it. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how to describe it other than it smells like a mixture between when water first hits like when water's first hitting asphalt and frying oil.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway. Which I also want to point out there's a metal cross above the doorway.
So there is.
Mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars. Worse than bandits. Which, here's a quick tidbit. This may not be true, so grain of salt. You know, I don't live there, never been there, so grain of salt. But allegedly, from what I understand, the police force in Russia is literally so corrupt that it is better to have a dash cam than insurance.
So, not so different than here.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah. We avoid politics here. we avoid direct politics. It is all love and it is all love and acceptance.
Peace and love. Peace and love. We're having a great time.
We're having a great time getting
Peace and love.
having a great time getting jump scare fucking mauled by a goddamn werewolf.
And eaten, don't forget.
Yeah,
That's the best part.
Yeah, okay, sir. I was trying to avoid that. I was trying to not be as horny. I'm only allowed like 3 hornies per episode.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused.
Здравствуйте.
Hello. The senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded.
Тут мальчик вчера потерялся. Вовой зовут.
A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name is Vova.
Глянь, пожалуйста. Ты его не видел?
Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The police held out a photograph to me. So this is a CG, correct?
So, not... I mean, it depends. I'm not super well versed on this. I don't know if anybody does animations in CGs. So, a CG is something that is painted as a cinematic graphic to depict a specific point in time and only a specific point in time. Usually they're a wide sweeping picture of an entire scene. I didn't really see the policeman super well since he was far back. I'm not sure if this is actually a new face here compared to the previous one. So I don't know that I would really call this a CG. This is definitely a specific intense point of focus, but whether it's a CG or not is debatable.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, there was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a wide smile.
Нет.
No, I haven't.
Точно? Посмотри внимательнее.
Are you sure? Look closely.
Где мне его видеть? Я тут никого не знаю, да и из дома-то почти не выхожу.
Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house.
А может, видел в окно?
Well, maybe you've seen him from the window?
Да, у тебя ведь окна на лес.
That's right. Your windows look straight at the forest, don't they? The window.
Don't they?
Нет, не видел.
No, I haven't seen anything.
Ясно.
I see.
He sounded tired, but his eyes, his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt, which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway, and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason.
Вы, кстати, как на новом месте? Попривыкли уже?
How do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it?
Понемногу, только вот дочка маленькая по городу скучает.
Bit by bit, it's just our little daughter misses the city a lot.
Скучает, значит. Из местных вас никто не беспокоит?
Mrs. the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well?
Все хорошо, спасибо.
Yes, everything is fine. Thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his brown eyes. My head started spinning.
Может, вам помочь как-то?
Can I help you somehow? I asked that in a shaky voice, to look like a polite boy, and to end this unpleasant conversation sooner.
Я вот стою и думаю.
Now that I think about it...
Ты, малец, на племеша моего похож.
You look just like one of my nephews. Little fella.
Шустрый парнишка твоих лет. С такими же окулярами. Все книжками зачитывался. Детективами.
He's a witty boy around your age. Wears the same type of goggles. Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels.
You know, I had never heard anybody refer to glasses as goggles until Cape Escape, and now here.
Когда летом погостить приезжал, говорит, что в школу милиции мечтает поступить.
Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family visited this summer.
Как я. Хотел людям помогать. Смекаешь?
Wanted to help other people, just like me. See?
I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me.
Ох, ребятушки.
You know what?
Сидите-ка вы лучше дома. Не ввязывайтесь ни во что. Жизнь сейчас совсем другая пошла.
Little boys like you should stay at home. Stay away from trouble. The times have changed so much.
My mom interjected in a cold voice.
Мне ли не знать?
You don't say.
Ну да ладно.
Well then.
Ты, Антон, в каком классе учишься?
What grade are you in, Anton?
В 6-м.
6th?
Друзей-то на новом месте еще не завел?
Have you made any friends here so far?
Пока нет. Я только после каникул в школу пойду.
Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break.
Тогда вот вам на всякий случай мой номер. Звоните, если если узнаете что.
Then I'll leave you my number, just in case. Call me if you have any new info.
The policemen were gone, along with their shadows. The smell of cheap cologne and the photo of a smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him being all alone there. For some reason, I thought of the forest, swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I'd gone missing? Would they cry and thrash about around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other, like they always do, and forget about me, eventually?
Мам, а Вова этот в нашем лесу заблудился?
Mom, this Vovo, did he go missing in our forest?
Выходит, что так. Бедный ребенок.
Seems like it. Poor child. I looked out the window at the road. The police UAZ drove off toward the village. What's a UAZ? A Soviet and Russian off-road freight passenger car brand which was produced on the Ulyanovsk car factory.
Hey, Coco.
Yes.
So this boy went missing in the forest.
Uh-huh.
Their forest. Where there were creatures dancing in the night, feasting.
Sir. 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 I don't even know what to say to that, man. We're gonna have to go ahead and call this one this one here. Freaking me the fuck out, man. Man. Oh, fuck off. Fuck out of here with that. Thank you all for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Have a good night, guys.